Hello, I'm David from the Gabriella Miller Kids First Data Resource Center, or Kids First DRC. And in this video, we'll explore the capabilities and features of the Variant Explorer tool on the Kids First portal. In the previous video, we talked about somatic variants available on PZBio portal. You can access germline variants on the Kids First portal. We'll show you where to find those variants and how to use the filters to narrow down your search. If you missed the video about finding somatic variants, click the link in the video description to see other videos in the Kids First Support Series playlist. Available Kids First germline variants can be browsed in two places, one of which is the Variant Explorer on the Kids First portal, and the other method is by using the Variant Workbench tool on CAVATICA, which we'll show at the end of this video. The Variant Explorer tool is available on the Kids First portal, and you can select it from the main portal navigation bar at the top of the screen. This tool provides a list of all of the variants which have been identified in participants across all Kids First studies. From this page, you can narrow down your search to find specific genes or variants of interest. If you have a specific gene that you study, we'll use ALK for an example, you can type the gene into the search bar and select from the drop-down menu. After we apply the gene we're interested in, you'll see that there are about 98,000 different variants in the portal with the ALK gene identified. You can continue to narrow this further by selecting other parameters. For example, if you're only interested in especially rare alleles, you can add a filter for frequency, such as nomad frequency of less than 0.0001, and hit apply. This will allow for a more specific search to find the most rare variants. You can also look at pathogenicity, or the nature of what these mutations are causing in the participant, and can sort the variants either by annotated ClinVar or VEP annotations. We'll select the checkbox to find the variants within VEP which have a higher likelihood of affecting the protein. You can narrow down the search results using filters to find those which are most deleterious. For each of these variants, a column on the right will provide a list of the number of participants and studies that include these variants in the Kids First portal. Now let's click on an individual variant. In this case, a frameshift mutation, which is present in 5 participants in the Kids First portal. If we scroll down, this page shows us the number of individual Kids First studies and participants within each of those studies. As a disclaimer, we are only allowed to show the number of individual participant IDs unless the number of participants is greater than 10 for a particular cohort. This, of course, is to protect the privacy of each study participant. This view can show you which Kids First studies include variants in your gene of interest, and can also be helpful to know which studies you may want to complete an application to access through dbGaP. If you've already received controlled access to the list of studies, then we can go deeper and use the Variant Workbench tool to identify more information about each of the participants. If you don't have access to any of the Kids First studies you'd like to explore, check out the second video in our user support playlist on how to request access to data through dbGaP. To access the Variant Workbench, you'll navigate to CAVATICA and authenticate with an ERA Commons account. You can access the Variant Workbench under CAVATICA's public projects, which you can find in the main nav drop-down menus at the top of the screen. Scroll down until you find the Variant Workbench section. The Variant Workbench on CAVATICA is a tool which uses interactive Jupyter notebooks to query the variants themselves at the participant level. There's additional information about the Variant Workbench in the Kids First Help Center, which provides more instructions about how to set it up with your account. You'll need to create a copy of this public project to use with your own analysis. From the Public Projects window, select the Copy Project within the Kids First Variant Workbench table. You can save your preferred settings, and then the project will be added to your personal CAVATICA account. From this point, you'll need to add files to this project. The Kids First Variant Workbench uses a very specific file format, which is not actually displayed in the Variant Explorer on the Kids First portal. These files are visible only on your Kids First portal dashboard. So after returning to the dashboard, you can find a section called Variant Workbench displayed on the right-hand side of your screen. After you've copied the preloaded public project in CAVATICA, you can select the Launch in CAVATICA button, which will identify the studies which have been granted access to and ask you to select where in your CAVATICA projects you'd like to copy them. As the prompt suggests, it may take a few minutes to sync with your CAVATICA account. We'll select the Kids First Variant Workbench project that we just copied, and then select the Import Data button. Depending on the size of the data you're copying, this action may take upwards of 30 to 45 minutes to copy all the data into your CAVATICA project. Once the data transfer is complete, we can navigate to the Variant Workbench itself to access individual tables and information. You can sort the files by type, size, and other parameters to organize in the best way for your project. This is merely an introductory walkthrough of the functions of the Variant Workbench on CAVATICA, but much more complex analysis is possible using this tool. For more information, check out the CAVATICA Help Center resources linked in the video description, and be sure to check out some of our other videos in our support video series. Thanks for watching.